Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. And I went to the flea market on Friday and I didn't get much for crafting. But for $1, I did get 3 of these trees. Which are, once they get put on a base and painted, are actually pretty decent for your tabletop. Maybe that's what we'll do today, is turn one of these into a nice tree. I like to do all 3 at once though. Alright, so today we were at a one of those like living treasures animal petting zoo things where you buy carrots and shit and feed them. Let me show you what I got there. So first of all, you've seen these tubes before by Safari Limited. They were $12 a piece. For $11, you could fill one of these with as many that you could fit in it. They just had a bunch dumped in bins, and you were able to steal them, or not steal them, but fill this up for $11. So usually these have 8 or 10 or something like that in it. I was able to fit 28 in mine. So I got a turtle, a wolf, another wolf, some horses, which I don't really need horses, but having horses is always good. I got some wings, several sets of wings. When you're making miniatures, wings are one of those things that's hard to get. So I got a bunch of these little birds with small wings. I got this big ram, a parrot for no reason whatsoever, and whatever that guy is. I got this sick gorilla, another turtle, but a different one. A bear who had a really tiny fish in his mouth. There's the tiny fish. Oh, I got 2 rams. Didn't realize it. A dog, a female lion, I guess, a lioness, a snake, and this sick guy here. This is the guy I was interested in. I feel like that could be a cool mob, just like that. So here's compared to like a regular mini. But that guy I thought would be cool. Let's throw him on a base and see what we can do with him. Maybe you can paint him up, make him look nice. Let me find a base. Base hunters. The first thing we want to do is prep this so it holds glue and paint and shit. God damn it. Ow, right under my nail. Oh, son of a damn it. Pardon my French. Oh, that hurts badly. And then I'm going to get in the hot tub later and it's going to sting. Damn my luck. Oh, I left my super glue upstairs. I'll have to open a new one. Okay. And we want this to stay on there pretty good. Oh, dude, I should have. Oh, I'm making a big old mess. Of course I am. Why wouldn't I? There's a couple weird spots where it just didn't set up right. I'm just going to get a little bit of super glue and clean that up. So I have a good bond. All right. Now, I don't know how good Homeboy's going to hold glue or paint or anything. So I usually hit him with a blowtorch or a heat gun. So I don't have a working heat gun anymore at the moment. And both my blowtorches are out of blowtorch juice. So there we go, something like that. Let me get my fan on. My fan is missing. Well, somebody decided to take my fan. That's fucking awesome. Well, we're going to do it this way. Dude, when people take my shit, it makes me frustrated. I've been having a kind of a grumpy day anyways. So people taking my shit has not made it better. We'll let that cool. I'll get a piece of cardboard. I need a knife. We'll just use this. I'm going to get a big brush. Some white. Something like that. Should work. I want him to be a dark bluish or a bluish gray maybe. So I'm going to use this super wet mountain blue color to do his body. And then I might come back in with some dry brushes to tone him up differently. So since it's pretty big, I'm going to damp my brush. Use a wet paint. And I don't want to paint around on them too much. I want to kind of not reactivate that because I didn't let it set properly. It's just, you know, kind of air dried a little bit. So I don't want to repaint him and activate that white paint again. But I want to use the natural shading of that undercoat to something like that. And there's a fly in here now. Of course there is. No fan and a fly. All right, I'm pretty happy with that color. Now we're going to hit him with the air gun. what I want to do is before I do his any kind of real detail work, I want to do his legs and the base and stuff. So I'm just getting a regular miniature brush that I use. This is the starter brush from Army Painter. I want to do his legs in a dark gray. I'm using Pavement, my favorite color on earth. Okay. Okay. La 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 la. I'm going to do his little bill or beak or whatever you call this thing. If you know on this bird, I don't even know what kind of bird this is supposed to be, but if you know if it's a beak or a bill, please tell me. Put it down there in the comments. I'll be more than happy to learn instead of looking up myself like a grown-up. Now we're going to do the base. I'm going to get that bigger brush again that I did the blue with. I'm going to be real careful here. Try not to get on his little toes and feet and talons and shit. Oh, that fly is irritating the shit out of me. I did get some on his talons. I have to go back and touch that up with that dark pavement again. I shouldn't call it dark pavement. Pavement just is dark. I don't have different degrees of pavement available to me. I'm just going to have to come back and retouch up those feet. That's okay. Okay. Let's hit him with the air gun. I still don't know what I want to do to make him more colorful. I haven't got a plan for that just yet. I'm getting a makeup brush in a medium brown. As I'm playing Dodge the Fly. And I'm just making some variation on that base. Okay. I'm going to dry that up. That fly is all up on my head, dudes. Now I want a lighter gray to do some dry brushing on the back of his feathers. For that lighter gray, I'm going to use this elephant gray here, and I'm just going to get a little splot of that on here to work with. And then I'm going to get a small, crappy brush. I'm using a makeup brush. Okay. Okay. I think I'm not going to do anywhere else on him with it. I think I'm just going to focus on this area and lighten that up. Like that. I'm going to get a lot of that off my brush. I'm just going to give a little bit, because there is some texture on those legs, nothing spectacular. But I'm just going to hit that a little bit and lighten those up. I'm just going to get the rest off my brush with that there. All right, so I'm going to do his eyes. I'm going to do his eyes in an off-white. Maybe, if I can find an off-white. What the hell did I do with it? There we go. I'm going to use a little brush. I'm going to get a little bit of black. Going back to my regular brush. It's damp. I just put it in my mouth. I'm going to trace around where his beak or bill connects to his feathers. Well, that fly goes in my face. Then I'm just going to dab his little talons. Okay. I'm going to get red. And I'm going to do his bill. I'm going to leave a line of the dark gray from the pavement. Okay, I'm gonna make that red. I'm gonna get that red, and I'm just gonna, no, I'm not gonna use that red for that, never mind. All right. We're gonna hit him with air again real quick. an orange. And I'm just going to do about a little bit more than half of that in the orange. I'm going to take that off camera and dry that real quick with a hot air gun. It might need another coat. I'm going to go over the red again real quick and brighten that up. Okay. Get the orange. Okay. I'm going to take him off camera real quick and dry that. What is so unique about this compared to any other random size large bird? Well, let's think about it, because I don't know. Maybe there's a good reason. If I had to guess, this is not a regular bird. And he looks like something you should be able to ride. But I assure you, you cannot ride him. I'll leave his tip of his nose just like that. So these birds follow vibrations, and you can't hide from them. They can sense your breathing, just like how a mosquito can see the carbon dioxide leaving your breath. These guys can too. I'm going to get a purple color here. This is called Grimoire purple. They're specifically attracted to magic users. They want magic users or people with spell-like abilities. Their goal is to stick their proboscis-like beak or bill into you. Try to suck life essence out, which heals them at times to whatever rate of damage they cause with it. So if they did 1d4 damage or 1d6 plus 2 or whatever the damage is, they heal twice as much damage as they deal. And if you have any kind of spell points or mana or spell slots, they'll eat that a little bit too. They'll take a little bit of that with them. Okay. They can fly, but not well. They can more so lift themselves up in short distances so they can hide in trees and on rock formations and stuff. But as far as actually flying, no, they're not big on flight. Unlike this damn fly. Good God, bastards everywhere. So all I've done is put purple on the tips of his tail feathers a little bit to give him some color. And then I've given him that 3-part proboscis, like bill. He's going to be kind of interesting because they're not going to know what he does or how to deal with him. They're going to think he's just a big bird. And he starts stinking spell slots and healing rapidly. People are going to be like, oh no, he's crazy good. Then they're going to be all bummed out. And you're going to be like, mwahahaha. We're going to call him a murder heron, I think. What do you guys think? Murder heron? I don't know. No, that doesn't sound great. Deathbird, I think it's taken. Pretty sure Deathbird's taken. Maybe they're out hunting, or maybe they're not hunters at all. Maybe the party has stumbled upon their nest. That'd be cool. The party stumbled upon their nest, perhaps. Their eggs are worth a lot of money, too. Party might know that, or they might not know that. You could have them do a knowledge, nature, or resourcefulness, or whatever system you're using. You can kind of figure out if they know their eggs are worthwhile. Maybe they came specifically looking for the egg. Maybe they're a dumbass and they didn't know how dangerous this bird was, or they thought they could handle it. But it's ridiculously quick. It's got a high agility or dex-based armor class. It has significant magical or natural armor. It has a magical barrier, and it heals quickly. And because it doesn't just take health when it attacks, it's an extra bit of threat. Let's do some black around the edge there and get this guy cleaned up. Let's finish off this base. I'm just going to get a brush that I like for this kind of deal. And I'm just going to fall around my fake dirt ledge. And just be careful. I really like the way that looks when you do that black outline where it's smooth. It kind of tells the story of where the world ends and fantasy begins. I know I've said that before, but maybe this is somebody's first time watching. If it is your first time watching, I did the entire 3.5 monster manual in miniatures. A lot of them I made out of garbage. Some of them were miniatures I painted, or some of them were old Dungeon Swag miniatures we used to sell that we don't sell anymore. But I did the entire 3.5 monster manual. If you're interested in turning anything into miniatures, you're in the place for that for sure. That is my jam. There is no there's no limit as to what you could do, and the more you do it, the more you'll get good at just making it work and getting what you want. I had no intention of starting out having an idea for a miniature or how that monster would fight or anything when I started this video. I knew that when I saw this guy in the store when I was loading up that little bin, I was like, oh, sick, that guy's awesome. I want him, but I didn't know what he was going to do. I didn't know he was going to have this super life and magic sucking proboscis for damn sure. That just kind of happened. I'm pretty happy. I hope you're happy too. I'd like to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, and all that happy crappy. Oh, I farted a little bit. You know, the shit that helps the channel grow. Leave a comment. I do answer those. I don't always have a good answer, but sometimes they're comments that are hard to answer well. And I'll see you next time.